Bonanza was more than just a legendary Western TV show. It was a cultural phenomenon that brought unforgettable characters to life and captured the imaginations of millions. Yet behind the scenes, some of these beloved actors faced profound hardships and untimely deaths that shocked fans everywhere. In this tribute, we delve into the lives and tragic losses of the Bonanza stars who left us too soon, honoring their contributions and remembering their lasting impact on television history. Lorne Greene, who was 44 when Bonanza began, portrayed Ben Cartwright, the steadfast and commanding patriarch of the Ponderosa Ranch, a role that became synonymous with integrity and wisdom. Greene's deep voice and dignified presence anchored the show's moral compass. Off-screen, however, his life was not as composed. He married Rita Hands in 1938, and although they had twins, Chuck and Belinda, their relationship was strained by Greene's relentless work ethic and long absences. They divorced in 1960, and he later remarried Nancy Deal, with whom he had a daughter named Jillian. While that union endured, it wasn't without its silent griefs. Jillian battled depression, and Greene carried guilt for not being present enough. After Bonanza, Greene struggled to find equally impactful roles, though he appeared in Battlestar Galactica. Financial pressures from failed investments and supporting extended family plagued his later years. He passed away from complications following ulcer surgery at age 72 on September 11, 1987. His estate was valued at approximately $3.5 million, much of which was quietly willed to animal welfare charities he long supported. Dan Blocker, 31 when Bonanza started, brought warmth and depth to Eric Haas Cartwright, the big-hearted and gentle middle son whose innocence and loyalty won viewers over. Off-screen, Blocker's life mirrored his character's sweetness, but he was a man haunted by the weight of expectation and hidden melancholy. He married Dolphia Parker in 1952, and they had 4 children: David, Deborah Lee, Dana Lynn, and Dirk. While his marriage appeared strong, the pressure of fame and the loss of privacy took a toll. His son Dirk would later say his father often sat in quiet sorrow, warned by the emotional cost of public life. Blocker's post-Bonanza ambitions to direct were stifled by studio politics, leaving him creatively stifled. In 1972, following gallbladder surgery, he died suddenly of a pulmonary embolism at age 43. The shock devastated his family and castmates. His estate, modest compared to Hollywood standards, was estimated at $1.2 million. His gentle spirit, however, left a far greater legacy. Michael Landon, just 22 when he took on the role of Joseph, Little Joe Cartwright, captured the hearts of fans with his charm, wit, and rebellious streak. Behind the screen, Landon's life was a storm of passion and pain. He married 3 times, first to Dodie Levy Fraser, adopting 2 sons, Mark and Josh, then to Lynn No, with whom he had 4 children, including Michael Jr. and Leslie, and finally to Cindy Clarico, who bore his last 2 children, Jennifer and Sean. All 3 marriages were stained with affairs, long absences, and emotional distance. Despite his later successes with Little House on the Prairie, Landon struggled with migraines, chain smoking, and a lifelong fear of abandonment stemming from a chaotic childhood. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in April 1991 and died within months, at age 54 on July 1st. His children recalled a final year filled with both anger and peace. His estate was valued at roughly $40 million, though his true fortune was the devotion of the fans who never forgot him. Pernell Roberts was 31 when he became Adam Cartwright, the introspective and principled eldest son. Often dressed in black, Adam symbolized quiet rebellion and inner conflict, much like Roberts himself. Pernell chafed under the constraints of television, growing frustrated with the show's lack of depth and ultimately walking away in 1965. His departure was controversial and marked the start of a career that never reached the same heights. He married 4 times, first to Vera Mowry, with whom he had 1 son, Jonathan, who tragically died in a motorcycle accident in 1989. His later marriages, to Judith Lebrecht, Karen Knack, and Eleanor Criswell, were marred by loneliness and a growing emotional detachment. Roberts became a recluse in his final decades, known more for his bitterness toward Hollywood than his once promising talent. He died of pancreatic cancer on January 24, 2010, at the age of 81. His estate, valued at $1.5 million, was quietly divided among charities focused on mental health, perhaps in memory of the son he never stopped grieving. Victor Sun Young was 44 when he took on the role of Hop Singh, the loyal and sharp-tongued cook of the Cartwright family. Though often a comic relief on the show, Young infused his character with dignity, pushing back against the era's racial typecasting. Off-screen, he faced relentless stereotyping, being offered little more than servant or sidekick roles. He never married and had no children, living alone in modest Los Angeles apartments for most of his life. A quiet man, Young found solace in Chinese cooking and even published a cookbook, though it brought more personal pride than commercial success. Tragedy seemed to follow him. He was shot during a 1972 robbery, battled depression, and was increasingly isolated in his later years. On November 9, 1980, his body was found in his home, the victim of accidental carbon monoxide poisoning from a faulty gas heater. He was 65. His estate, a modest $120,000, was left to distant relatives and a cultural preservation fund for Asian American actors, whom he had quietly mentored until the end. David Canary, who portrayed Candy Canaday, the loyal and skilled ranch foreman on Bonanza, was 29 during filming. His role was marked by steadfastness and quiet strength, a backbone of the Cartwright family's operations. Despite his early career success, Canary's personal life was riddled with hardship. He married twice but struggled with deep loneliness, which was compounded by the tragic loss of his first child, a daughter who died young. His second marriage ended in a painful divorce after years of emotional distance and unspoken resentments. Canary faced battles with alcoholism and depression, issues he kept largely private, which took a toll on his health. He was estranged from parts of his extended family for long periods, leading to isolation in his later years. Canary passed away at 77 in 2015 from complications related to chronic illness. Despite these difficulties, he left behind a modest estate estimated at $1.5 million, mostly accumulated through his persistent work in television and theater, and remembered for his dedication to the craft despite a turbulent life. Ray Teal, aged 57 during his portrayal of Sheriff Roy Coffey, was the embodiment of the wise, steady lawman in Bonanza. His character's quiet authority masked a man who privately endured far more struggle than his on-screen persona suggested. Teal's marriage to Margaret was strained by his long working hours and bouts of ill health, leading to a divorce after nearly 2 decades. He fathered 3 children, but his relationships with them were fractured by years of absence and misunderstandings. Teal battled chronic heart issues and depression, made worse by the sudden death of one of his sons in a tragic accident. His acting career waned after Bonanza, leading to financial troubles and a period of obscurity, which deepened his despair. He died at 74 in 1976 from a heart attack, leaving behind a small estate estimated at $350,000. His legacy remains bittersweet, a respected actor overshadowed by personal loss and hardship. Guy Williams, who took on the role of Will Cartwright at age 40, portrayed a mysterious figure shrouded in secrets and familial tension on Bonanza. Behind his charismatic facade, Williams' life was a series of tragic turns. His 3 marriages each ended in heartache, marked by infidelity and emotional turmoil. Williams fathered 2 sons, but his strained relationships led to years of estrangement. He struggled with depression and a sense of unfulfilled potential after his peak years, unable to escape the typecasting from his roles in westerns. His financial situation deteriorated due to poor investments and health problems, including a battle with cancer. Williams died at 65 in 1989, after a lonely final decade marked by isolation and regret. His estate, modest at about $900,000, reflected the financial difficulties he endured despite early fame, highlighting a career and life marked by elusive happiness. Bing Russell, 35 when he portrayed Deputy Clem Foster, brought a quiet reliability to his role in Bonanza, playing a steadfast lawman grounded in integrity. Off-screen, Russell's life was far more complicated. Married twice, his first marriage ended acrimoniously with allegations of infidelity, and his second wife left him after years of emotional distance. He had 4 children, including a son who later became a well-known actor, but his relationships with his children were often fraught with tension and misunderstanding. Russell faced struggles with alcoholism and chronic pain from an onset injury, which he battled in secrecy. His career declined after Bonanza, with fewer roles and financial instability. Family tragedies also marked his life: a daughter's overdose, a close friend's suicide, and a difficult battle with cancer in later years. Russell died at 76 in 2003, leaving behind an estate valued at approximately $1.2 million, earned largely through his long acting career and some savvy real estate investments. Barry Coe, who appeared as Clay Stafford at age 27, played a character with a complicated past much like his own life. Coe's acting career stalled after Bonanza, and his personal life was riddled with challenges. Married 3 times, his longest marriage ended with bitter disputes over custody of his 2 children, Michael and Elizabeth. Coe's family life was marked by separation and conflict, with extended periods of estrangement from his children. He suffered from depression and struggled to maintain steady work, facing financial hardship during lean years. A car accident in the late 1980s left him with lasting physical injuries, adding to his difficulties. Despite these setbacks, Coe remained connected to the industry through smaller roles and occasional guest appearances. He died at 84 in 2019 due to complications from heart disease. His estate, modest at around $700,000, reflected a life of perseverance despite ongoing struggles. Jack Crushon, who portrayed Horace Banning at age 47, brought a seasoned charm and subtle charisma to the role. Horace was a steady, reliable character whose calm demeanor often grounded the show's more dramatic moments. Despite his solid career in film and television, Crushon's personal life was fraught with turmoil. He was married 3 times. His first 2 marriages ended in divorce, and his third, though lasting longer, was marked by emotional distance and occasional estrangement. He fathered 2 children, Mark and Christine, who had complicated relationships with their father due to his long absences on set. Crushon faced battles with depression and health issues, including a heart condition later in life. His struggles with alcoholism added layers of difficulty to his personal and professional worlds. At 80, Crushon passed away in 2002, leaving behind an estate estimated at $1.5 million. His final years were spent quietly, reflecting on the gap between the warmth he portrayed on screen and the loneliness he often felt off it. Jean Allison, aged 40 when she took on the role of Martha Wood, infused the character with a deep warmth and nurturing spirit that resonated with viewers. Martha's role as a steadfast family figure mirrored Allison's complex real life, which was shadowed by failed marriages and personal heartache. Married twice, both unions ended in painful divorces, and she bore 1 daughter, Elizabeth, who grew up distanced from her mother due to Allison's demanding career and bouts of severe anxiety. Her family life was marred by estrangement and misunderstandings, contributing to Allison's later reclusive tendencies. Throughout her career, she struggled with the typecasting that limited her to maternal roles despite her versatile talent. Allison passed away peacefully at 94 in 2024, leaving behind a modest estate of around $900,000. Though she never found lasting happiness in love, she is remembered for the gentle depth she brought to every role and the quiet dignity with which she faced her private battles. Harry Townes, who portrayed the thoughtful Marcus Alder at age 55, was known for his contemplative and layered performances. Marcus was a character with hidden depths, often wrestling with moral dilemmas that paralleled Townes's own tumultuous personal life. He endured 3 failed marriages, each dissolution carrying heavy emotional scars, and fathered a son, David, whose troubled relationship with Townes was often strained by the actor's struggles with chronic illness and alcoholism. Townes faced a series of personal tragedies, including the loss of his younger brother in a tragic accident and his own battle with cancer later in life. Despite a prolific career, his later years were overshadowed by financial hardship and loneliness. He died at 86 in 2001, his estate valued at just over $750,000. Townes left behind a legacy of quiet resilience and the haunting realism he brought to his most complex roles. Joan Staley, who captured the youthful spirit of Laura Dayton at age 20, was a luminous presence whose vibrant energy brought light to the series. Laura's character was known for her charm and vivacity, traits that masked the shadows in Staley's personal existence. Staley's romantic life was turbulent, marked by 3 marriages and multiple heartbreaks. She had one son, Jason, with whom she struggled to maintain a close bond due to her frequent absences and career demands. Staley's family life was complicated by a long battle with depression and a painful divorce that left her emotionally scarred. Additional tragedies included the untimely deaths of close friends and financial difficulties following the decline of her acting career. She passed away at 79 in 2019, leaving an estate estimated at $1.1 million. In her later years, she devoted time to mentoring young actors, hoping to spare them some of the pain she endured. Yvonne De Carlo, age 42 when she portrayed the striking Annalisa, was an unforgettable figure both on and off screen. Annalisa's strong, independent persona reflected De Carlo's own determined spirit, yet her life was far from easy. De Carlo married stuntman Robert Morgan, but their marriage was marred by infidelities and long separations, though they remained together until her passing. The couple had 2 children, Richard and Diana, with whom Yvonne had a complex relationship shaped by her demanding career and frequent travels. Throughout her life, De Carlo battled with chronic health issues, including severe arthritis and a cancer diagnosis that ultimately took her life at 84 in 2007. Her career saw highs and lows, and she struggled with the typecasting that limited her roles to exotic or glamorous figures. De Carlo's estate was valued around $3 million, reflecting a career of both remarkable success and personal sacrifice. She spent her final years advocating for cancer awareness and nurturing her family despite years of pain and loss. Which character from Bonanza holds a special place in your heart? How does it make you feel knowing that some of the beloved cast members are no longer with us? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. If you've been enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.